Upon learning human males lack a breeding season, the alien student almost passed out. Sivri Colt jabbed her stylus at the lab worksheet, pinning Miles' heart with her compound eyes. Mark the human male breeding season here. Exact cycle dates. Miles leaned over the shared holopad in the xenobiology lab, his brow furrowing. He scratched his stubbled chin. Breeding season? Humans don't have one. Sivri's stylus froze midair, her frilled crest flattened against her scalp. No season at all. Nope. Miles tapped the screen, shading the entire annual cycle in solid red. We're fertile year-round, males especially, always ready. Her knees locked, vision tunneled to pinpricks. Sivri's secondary hearts hammered, sinking into a thunderous roar, no seasonal suppression. No hormonal lockdown, uncontrolled fertility, constant. The lab bench blurred. She swayed, claw-tipped fingers slapping the emergency call panel. Alarms whooped. Red lights pulsed across the station's ceiling. Whoa, Miles lunged, yanking a rolling chair under her collapsing form. She hit the seat with a wheeze. He snatched a lab fan from the supply rack and cranked it to full blast, aiming the chill gust at her face. Breathe, Sivri, in through the vents, out the gills. Sivri clutched the armrests, her iridescent skin paling to ash gray. Cool air sliced through her spiracles, steadying the blackout haze, but the words echoed, always ready, males as walking biohazards. Her species' meticulous fertility rites, 3-day seasonal flares overseen by caste elders, shattered against this. Humans roamed space unchecked, spawning at will. The lab door hissed open. Dr. Keiko Raman strode in, white coat flapping. Her dark eyes scanned the scene. Sivri slumped, Miles fanning like a frantic parent. Report! She's crashing, Miles said. Asked about breeding seasons, I told her the truth. Dr. Raman nodded, unfazed. She pulled a hypospray from her pocket and pressed it to Sivri's neck. Cool serum flooded her veins, easing the heart stutter. Standard vasiclear. Sivri, can you hear me? Sivri's crest twitched upright. Affirmative, but year-round, no refractory periods, no population controls. Biologically, yes, doctor. Raman wheeled a stool close, her voice level as a scalpel. Humans evolved continuous ovulation and spermatogenesis, adapts to unstable environments. No seasons needed. Miles kept the fan steady. It's normal for us, like eating when hungry. Sivri's claws dug into the chair. Normal, her mind raced through xenotexts, humans as space orcs. Durable, prolific, now it clicked. Unrestrained reproduction fueled their expansion. Billions across colonies, hybrids rumored in fringe sectors, footsteps clattered outside. Proctor Velum 9 burst through, his gelatinous form quivering under the safety vest. Antennae whipped the air, sampling pheromones. Containment breach, human biohazard exposure. Dr. Raman raised a hand. Cultural shock, Proctor, not medical. Velum 9's core pulsed orange, elevated stress. Exchange protocols demand verification. Sivri Colt state the perceived threat. Sivri straightened, forcing composure. Her honors thesis hinged on this data. Accurate human biology for her homeworld's archives. But one fact unraveled everything. Human males lack breeding dormancy. Continuous fertility risks uncontrolled hybridization. Diplomatic vectors compromised. Miles blinked. Hybridization, we don't. I mean, consent's a thing. Velum 9's pseudopods flailed, slapping a datapad. Scandal potential, 98%. Station-wide panic if leaked. Humans as invasive breeders, headlines on 12 channels. Dr. Raman shot him a glare. Proctor, you're escalating. Sivri needs facts, not filters. Sivri's secondary heart synced again, curiosity overriding dread. She tapped her worksheet. Quantify sperm viability without seasonal peaks. Miles shrugged, grabbing a marker. He sketched a graph on the bench whiteboard. Peak production daily. Viable up to 5 days post-ejaculation, but we control it. Condoms, pills, implants, engineering mindset. Engineering, Sivri's frills perked. Humans engineered their urges, her species mandated neural blockers during off-seasons, enforced by law. Doctor. Raman pulled up a hollow model on the pad. Rotating human anatomy glowed blue. See, testes maintain steady output. No winter shutdown like your Virelian analogs. Adapts to 0G radiation. We've colonized ice worlds because of it. Velum 9 hovered closer, his glow dimming to caution yellow. This stays in the lab, no transmissions home. Sivri, your embassy flags it as sensitive. But science demands, Sivri protested. Diplomacy first. Velum 9's voice bubbled sternly. One leaked memo and your species quarantines us. Space Orcs, the breeding plague. Miles snorted, then caught himself. Sorry, look, Sivri, it's not horror, it's flexibility. We pair bond lifelong mostly. Kids planned. Pair bond, Sivri cross-referenced mentally. Human monogamy rates, 87%, but outliers poly networks, solo parents, chaos masked as choice. The hyposerum sharpened her focus. She stood, legs steady now. Demonstrate containment, protocol simulation. Dr. Raman arched a brow. Bold, Proctor. Vellum 9 quivered. Paperwork first. Miles grinned, grabbing a sample kit. Easy, watch. He swabbed his inner cheek saliva proxy and sealed it in a cryovial. Baseline human gametes, sterile for study, no risk. Sivri's sensors tingled. Human saliva carried traces. Pheromones faint but present, potent. Her crest flushed teal, fascination response. Dr. Raman logged the vial. See, contained, your species excels at ritual precision, ours at improvisation. Collaboration logs victories. Vellum 9 scanned the room, antennae calming. Incident downgraded, but worksheet redacted. Submit via secure channel. Sivri nodded, stylus flying across the pad. Data points piled, viability curves, suppression tech. Humans weren't monsters, adaptive survivors. Her thesis evolved, humans as resilient vectors, not hazards. The proctor departed with a squelch. Dr. Raman patted Sivri's shoulder. Debrief tomorrow, hydrate. Miles powered down the fan. You good, need coffee, humans run on that. Sivri's eyes locked on him, always ready. He lounged there, oblivious. A biological dynamo in dorm genes. Clarify pair bond failure rate. Divorces about 40%. Miles rubbed his neck. But remarriage high, we adapt. 40%. Her homeworld 0.3. Sivri's crest wilted, unstable, yet humanity thrived, wars survived, plagues outlasted, alarms silenced. Lab hummed quiet. Sivri pocketed her worksheet, truth verified, but the minefield loomed. One offhand report home and humans became legends, tireless breeders conquering stars one cradle at a time. Her comm buzzed. Embassy query, progress on human repro data? Sivri hesitated. Send sanitized version, or the raw horror. Miles waved. Lab partners duty, pizza later, humans bond over food. She typed delay, complexities. The real question burned, what else did humans hide in their normal? Sivri jabbed the secure channel button. Her pad chimed confirmation. Incident report filed. Human reproductive query worksheet verification. No breach detected. Recommend no bulletin. The lab door hissed open. Proctor Vellum 9 slithered back in, frills flared. Submitted already? Bold. Sivri's crest stiffened. Preempts escalation. Data contained. Vellum 9's eye stalk swiveled to Miles, who sprawled at the console, scrolling charts. Human, cease auxiliary access. Miles blinked up. Just pulling refs for her homework, endocrine basics. Basics. Vellum 9's voice dripped acid. Your species' basics trigger biohazard protocols. Dr. Raman stepped forward, tablet in hand. Proctor logged and cleared. Sivri's thesis requires primary sources. Sivri gripped her pad. Goal, verify without shutdown. Proctor's gaze bored into her. Conflict brewed, bureaucrat versus student. Vellum 9 pulsed bioluminescent warning bands. Query flagged reproductive security. Interview 800 tomorrow, all parties. The proctor exited with a wet slap of cilia. Sivri exhaled. Report bought time. No panic blast across the station. Miles grinned. Coffee run or charts first? Charts. Sivri slid onto the stool beside him. Endocrine data now. Miles tapped his wristcom. Hollow screens bloomed, graphs spiking like solar flares. Human fertility, no rut cycle. Continuous ovulation in females, monthly windows. Males, always on. Testosterone peaks variable, stress, diet, competition. Sivri's vents fluttered. He recited like station weather, cloudy with a chance of conception. Viability, her stylus hovered. Peak 20 to 35 standard years, but outliers everywhere. Tech extends it, cryosperm, surrogates, failure rates, high miscarriages 20% first trimester. Her homeworld synced litters every third orbit. Regulated, safe, humans, chaotic engines. Suppression, Sivri leaned in. Miles swiped to pills, implants. Hormonal blocks 98% effective, over the counter. Sivri cross-referenced her pad against station MedDB. Search, human rut cycle. Null results. No entry, why? Never had one. Miles shrugged. Evolved past it, adapt or die. Her core chilled. No seasonal lockout, perpetual potential. One slip and boom, offspring. Dr. Raman nodded approval. Accurate, worksheet complete? Sivri uploaded the sanitized sheet. Preliminary, variables exceed models. Miles powered down the hollow. Pizza now, humans refuel mid-crisis. Sivri's comm buzzed embassy ping. Ignored, first survive interview. They trudged dormward through hydroponic glow tubes. Station air hummed sterile. Sivri's gate dragged, Miles bounded ahead, tray balanced, cheese-drenched slabs, synthetic pepperoni. Try this. He shoved a slice her way. Carbs for the win, Sivri nibbled. Grease exploded, salty fire. Her species supped nutrient gels. This, assault. Good, Miles chewed, oblivious. Intense, like their biology, dorm pod sealed behind them. Sivri unpacked her kit, scanners, probes, non-invasive. Thesis demanded proofs. Miles, demonstrate, he laughed. What now? Baseline hormones, saliva swab. Miles swabbed without pause. Engineer mode, data first. Scanner beeped. Testosterone elevated, cortisol steady, no seasonal dip. Sivri logged it. Post-meal spike. Nah, normal day. He kicked off boots. Lab tomorrow, her pad pinged. Proctor override. Interview mandatory. Bring human subject. Sivri's frills drooped. Goal shifted, explain without exile. Miles snored already, sprawled like a felled tree. Tireless, she dimmed lights, cross-checked DB again. Human fertility, opportunistic, high variance, social pair bonds unstable. 40% dissolution. Remarriage surged, vectors for genes endless. Station alarm stayed silent. Her report held the line. Dawn cycle flushed the pod orange. Sivri prepped, facts marshaled, no hysteria. Miles stirred. Interview, I'll tag along. Affirmative, Sivri checked her vest. Protocol, safety office loomed, blast doors, quarantine seals. Vellum 9 waited inside, flanked by aides, hollow recorder's word. State purpose, Proctor's voice echoed. Sivri stood tall. Xenobiology thesis. Human reproduction verification, no security threat. Evidence, Vellum 9's stalk extended. Miles leaned forward. Here's the deck. He flicked his comm. Charts materialized, ovulation graphs, hormone tides, implant schematics. Aide gasped. Continuous fertility. No refractory phase, Miles nodded casual. Yeah, we plan around it. Condoms, apps, abstinence, works fine. Sivri interjected. DB confirms, no rut, cultural controls suffice. Vellum 9's bands flickered red. Failure modes, miscarriage common. Miles ticked fingers. Ectopics, defects, but fertility treatments, IVF, gene edits boost survival, we iterate. Iterate like machines. Sivri's thesis core lit. Humans didn't conquer via claws, they bred through ruins. Proctor scanned data. Risk assessment, high adaptability, potential vectors. Doctor. Raman entered uninvited. Proctor, collaboration log cleared, thesis advances exchange program. Vellum 9 hesitated, aides whispered. Interview paused, Proctor's frills relaxed fractionally. Resubmit full packet, secure. Sivri exhaled vapor, victory narrow. Outside, Miles high-fived air. Nailed it, lunch. Her pad vibrated. Embassy, urgent, raw data or embargo. Sivri typed fast, raw with caveats. Miles paused. Thesis gold? More. Sivri eyed him. You normalize apocalypse. He chuckled. Just bio 101. Station klaxon stayed mute, but whispers spread, crew-side chats. Humans breed anytime. Sivri's crest perked. Legends brood, not orcs, something worse, relentless adapters. Interview room emptied. Proctor lingered, scanning charts. One query, human. Miles turned. Shoot. Pair bond dissolution, emotional cost? Miles rubbed neck. Hurts, therapy, friends, time, then rebound, we heal fast. Heal, Vellum 9 stalk retracted. Noted. Sivri filed exit log, no bulletin, data secured. Dorm bound, Miles plotted pizza variants. Sivri probed deeper. Offspring count, average? Global, dropped last century, choice now, he grinned. But potential unlimited. Unlimited, her vents seized, comm buzzed, Proctor addendum. Monitor subject, anomalous resilience. Sivri pocketed it. Humans hid no horrors. They embodied them casual, lab next cycle. Dr. Raman waved them in. Debrief, new worksheet, human adaptability metrics. Sivri sat, Miles cued Sims. Start with stress response. Raman pointed, Miles strapped in. Simulator ramped, zero-G spin, toxin sim, isolation. Human vitals, heart raced. Hormones surged, no collapse. Sivri logged peaks, recovers baseline in minutes. Yep, Miles unstrapped, sweaty but steady. Coffee helps, Raman smiled. Your species edge, Sivri's stylus flew. Thesis pivot, not breeders. Survivors who propagated anyway, pod night. Embassy data packet compiled. Raw curves, failure stats, rebound rates. Send. Miles snored, pizza box empty. Sivri hit transmit, truth first. Station net rippled subtle, queries spiked. Human repro protocols. Vellum 9's office lit urgent. Sivri's calm, interview round 2, now. She rose, Miles bolted awake. On it. Door hissed, Proctor waited, frills rigid. Packet leaked. No, Sivri stepped out. Embassy vetted. Behind, Miles grabbed boots, always ready. Proctor's voice cracked. Containment failing, station prep for, inquiry flood. Sivri glanced back, human dynamo stirred, what else brewed in that normal? Her core thrummed. Legends ignited, humans, stars quiet terror. Sivri stepped into Proctor Vellum 9's office. The door sealed behind her with a hiss. Proctor Vellum 9 loomed over his desk, frills quivered along his neck. Student Colt, sit, explain the packet. Sivri lowered into the restraint chair, her vents cycled cool air. Goal, secure permission for tests. Proctor. Embassy approved my data transmit. Human adaptability metrics. I request non-invasive reproductive baseline scans. Confirm viability windows. Vellum 9's eye stalks swiveled. He tapped his console. Hollow forms flickered up. Reproductive, define parameters for the record. Sivri straightened her stylus. Humans lack seasonal fertility, always capable, no refractory cycles, viable year-round. Always. Vellum 9's voice sharpened. His claws clicked the desk. Legal definition, quantify always. Percentage, conditions. Sivri pulled her data slate. Curves glowed, hormone baselines, gamete counts. 98% viability any cycle, post-stress rebound in hours. Subject heart confirmed. Vellum 9 froze, eye stalks locked. Heart, your doormate, primary subject. Affirmative, Sivri leaned forward. Non-invasive. Saliva swab, hormone panel, ultrasound proxy, no risk. The proctor's frills flattened. He summoned another form. Consent required, station protocols, human biohazards classified. Sivri's core thrummed. Biohazards, humans filed nails, drank caffeine. Proctor. Cultural exchange mandate. Dr. Raman endorses. Endorsed. Vellum 9 snorted steam. Fetch heart, witness now. Sivri pinged Miles' comm. Response instant, on way, boots on. Minutes later, the door buzzed. Miles strode in. Engineering jumpsuit zipped halfway. Hair tousled. Grin wide. Hey, Proctor, Sivri, what's the drill? Vellum 9 gestured stiffly. Heart, consent form, student Colt requests repro scans, non-invasive. Miles scanned the hollow, scrolled terms. Sure, sign here. His finger jabbed the pad. Beep confirmed. Sivri exhaled vapor. Progress, Vellum 9 cleared vents. Heart, verbal confirmation, you understand always capable metric? Miles shrugged. Yeah, humans can go anytime, no seasons. That's why contraception's standard kit. Pills, patches, implants, keeps it planned. Sivri watched Vellum 9 freeze. Mid-sentence, eye stalks rigid, claws hovered, then slam. The proctor's palm crushed the desk alert button. Red lights pulsed. Station klaxons hummed low. Containment breach, Vellum 9 barked into his comm. Human repro tech unauthorized disclosure, quarantine form 7 alpha. Miles blinked. Whoa, chill, it's just birth control. Sivri's vents seized. Birth control, tools to suppress fertility, humans engineered restraint. Vellum 9 whirled on Miles. You built devices to halt propagation on demand? Miles scratched his neck. Yeah. Been around forever, pharmacies stock 'em, why freak? The office door burst. 2 security drones hovered in. Scans swept Miles. Sivri stood. Proctor, stand down, exchange protocol. Protocol? Vellum 9's frills lashed. Your packet ignited queries. Sectors demanding repro lockdowns. Humans unleashed breeders. Miles chuckled. Brewers, nah, we got that covered. Drones beeped clear, retreated. Vellum 9 slumped. Claws drummed. Colt, tests denied, heart monitored, report anomalies. Sivri pocketed her slate, denied. Thesis stalled, but Miles' words echoed. Tools to ignore seasons. Humans didn't just lack limits, they bypassed them. Miles clapped her shoulder. Lab later, Raman's got Sims queued. Sivri nodded, they exited. Corridor hummed with whispers. Crew glanced, fins twitching. Her comm buzzed. Dr. Raman, office. Now, Proctor flagged you. Sivri accelerated. Miles matched stride, effortless. Dr. Raman's door slid open. The human professor sat calm, tea steamed beside her console. Sivri, Miles, sit. Proctor's alert, repro inquiry. Sivri perched. Affirmative, permission denied, but heart disclosed contraception. Raman sipped, nodded. Expected, humans normalize it, your species. Seasonal, regulated, pod sync. Sivri's stylus twitched. Tools to suppress how? Raman set her cup down, pulled a drawer. Small packet emerged, foil crinkled. Barrier method, demo, Miles waved it off. Basics, pills tweak hormones like flipping a switch. Sivri logged furiously, switch. Humans wired fertility like machinery. Raman leaned in. Your proctor sees weapons, we see management. Run the scans anyway, my lab off record. Sivri's vents warmed, risky. Legal. Science first, Raman smiled. Policy lags biology. Miles strapped into the med scanner. Hit it, baseline me. Sivri activated, probes hummed. Saliva collector extended, Miles swabbed casual. Screen bloomed data. Gametes, viable, hormones, primed, no seasonal dip. Raman pointed. C, steady state, contraception optional override. Sivri's core raced, override, humans propagated at will or not, choice as weapon. Alert pinged. Station net, repro seminar request. All crews, Miles unstrapped. Told ya normal. Door chimed. Proctor Vellum 9 stormed in, frills ablaze. Scans detected, Raman turned. Com Proctor, baselines only. Baselines, Vellum 9 jabbed a claw at the screen. Viability peaks off charts and suppression tech. Humans arm civilians, Miles stood. Dude, it's condoms, not lasers. Vellum 9 recoiled. Condoms, log-term fertility nullifier. Sivri intervened. Proctor, data shared, embassy cleared, cultural exchange. The Proctor's comm exploded. Voices overlapped, panic and hydroponics. Humans breeding unchecked. Vellum 9 paled. Unchecked, tools make it worse, intentional hordes. Raman raised a hand. No hordes, population controls, ethics boards we've managed for millennia. Miles nodded. Earth stable, space colonies too, we adapt. Sivri watched. Humans humble, casual, yet their normal shattered norms. Vellum 9 deflated. Mandate review, cult your thesis, fueling this. Sivri straightened. Truth advances alliance. Proctor fled, door hissed shut. Raman chuckled. Minefield navigated, next, stress repro links. Miles grinned, bring it. Sivri's slate filled. Humans, not orcs, engineers of self. Fertility forged into strategy. Corridor chatter swelled. Crew clustered. Eyes on Miles. Whispers he carries nullifiers. Miles waved. Unfazed. Sivri's comm lit. Embassy. Packet viral. Legends forming. Humans, space horde tamers. Her vents locked. Horde tamers. No, masters of the unchecked. Pod cycle. Sivri compiled fresh packet. Scans, overrides, rebounds. Miles snored across the room. Nightstand drawer ajar. Foil packets glinted. Sivri hit transmit. Station quaked subtle. Queries surged. Human tools deployable asterisk proctors light flashed urgent. Again, but now Sivri knew. Humans hid no horrors. They tamed them. With tools, will, coffee, lab dawn, Dr. Raman waited. Deeper dive, pair bonding effects. Miles cued, ready. Sivri strapped auxiliary. Probes linked. What brewed next in human normal? Core thrummed. Legend spread. Humans, stars deliberate terror. Sivri activated the centrifuge. It whirred to life, spinning hormone samples from Miles' latest draw. Dr. Raman nodded from the console. Pair bonding markers first. Oxytocin baselines, then vasopressin spikes. Miles leaned back in the scan chair, sipping black coffee from a station mug. Steam curled up. Fire away. Bonding's my jam, dated my high school sweetheart through 3 majors. Sivri's vents cycled cool air. Her species synced fertility to quadrennial monsoons. Pair bonds lasted 1 cycle. Humans, continuous. The embassy packet warned of readiness outliers. She cross-checked protocols on her slate. Goal, verify linkage without station alerts. Probes linked stable. Miles' vitals flatlined green, pulse steady at 72, no fertility surge bleed. He cracked a grin. Tickles less than yesterday's stress test. You aliens got delicate gear. Dr. Raman adjusted a dial. Human baselines hold under load. Sivri cue the profiles. Sivri tapped 10 species overlays. Kaltari seasonal peaks, Voron hive synchrony, even Grull hibernation lows. Miles' readout loaded last. Her core stuttered. Human markers sat dead center in continuous readiness bands. No seasonal dip, no suppression phase. Ovulation cues primed year-round. Sperm motility peaked daily. Professor, Sivri's vents locked. Confirmation, human gametogenesis operates in perpetual cycle, no refractory interphase. Miles chuckled, draining his mug. Yeah, evolution's gift keeps the species hopping. The lab lights flickered. A deep thrum echoed from the station core power dip. Alarms pinged soft. Centrifuge wind down mid-spin. Samples sloshed uneven. Sivri lunged. No, imbalance will shear the assays. Dr. Raman killed the feed. Auxiliary failed, manual balance now. Miles unstrapped, already at the tool rack. Got pipe clamps and counterweights. He yanked a spare rotor arm, eyeing the samples. These spin like helicopter blades, need even mass. Sivri's claws clicked on the deck. Panic surged, her thesis hinged on clean data. Embassy watched. Proctor Vellum 9 loomed in queries. She grabbed lab dumbbells, sterilizing them midair with a plasma wand. Here, 50-gram equivalents. Power stabilized. Lights hummed back, but centrifuge stayed dead, override locked. Miles wedged under the console. Bypass this relay, engineering fix. Sparks flew brief. He jury-rigged a hand-cranked drive from a micro-torque motor. Spin her manual, you balance, I turn. Sivri slotted improvised weights opposite the samples. Perfect counterpoise. Miles cranked. Rotor blurred smooth. She monitored via slate link. Centrifugal force hit spec. Data streamed pure. Stable, Sivri exhaled. Pair bond analogs elevated 23% under recall stimulus. Human monogamy reinforces via neurochemical lock-in. Dr. Raman logged it. Textbook. Oxytocin floods mimic Koltari monsoons, but scalable. No burnout. Miles wiped sweat, grinning. Perks of coffee and commitment. My girls back on Earth, holocalls keep the fire lit. Sivri's slate buzzed. Results compiled. Humans, not seasonal, adaptive. Deployable fertility as survival edge. Her vents heated. Space Orcs. No strategic breeders. Horde potential tamed by choice. Door hissed. Proctor Vellum 9 burst in, frills quivering. Cult, Embassy Cascade, your prior packet spawned human horde override Sims. Now this. Pair bonding as weaponized loyalty. Dr. Raman blocked the console. Routine xenomed, signed waivers, no breach. Vellum 9's optics darted to Miles. He cycles constantly without collapse. Miles waved his mug. Yup, stable pop controls, ethics boards, we vote on expansions. Sivri stepped forward. Data proves control, humans engineer restraint, not orcs architects. Proctor's frills drooped. Legends metastasize, crew whispers, they birth legions on demand, mandate incoming. Miles snorted. Tell 'em we binge Netflix instead. Vellum 9 fled, calm chirping overrides. Dr. Raman sealed the lab. Deeper protocols next, gamete viability under duress. Sivri prepped fresh probes. Miles queued up unfazed. Her slate overflowed, queries from 3 sectors. Humans, infinite spawn, no, masters of the flux. Corridor hummed post-lab. Crew clustered at viewports. Eyes tracked Miles as he grabbed lunch pack, protein bar, casual chew. Whispers peaked, nullifier carriers, horde tamers, Sivri's comm lit. Embassy, packet viral. Addendum, bonding as loyalty forge. Alliance gold or terror seed? She vented slow. Humans hid no fangs. They leashed the wild with will. Coffee, jokes, cranks. Pod cycle later, Sivri compiled. Scans layered, continuous readiness plus pair locks equals exponential potential, voluntarily capped. Miles snored across the dorm, drawer cracked. Foil packets glinted. Tools of precision. Transmit hit. Station quaked faint, core relay strain. Queries exploded, deployables standard. Proctor's light flashed, cease, review, Sivri ignored, truth built bridges or legends. Lab dawn again, Dr. Raman waited. Stress repro links, simulate colony duress. Miles strapped in, coffee steaming. Hit me. Sivri linked probes, auxiliaries hummed. What surged next in normal? Vitals spiked brief, adrenals then rebound. Fertility markers held firm, no crash. Human adaptability, fertility as elastic forge. Sivri cross-checked profiles, 10 species wilted under sim stress. Humans, amplified 14%, gametes viable post-crisis. Professor, confirmation duress enhances human readiness, adaptive override. Miles flexed. Fight or flight. We do both, then family. Dr. Raman nodded. Evolutionary hack, colonies thrive on it. Alarms wailed station-wide, power grid alert, lights dimmed, Sivri braced, not again, consoles flickered, cryovaults pinged, backup samples at risk, Miles bolted. Engineering bay. I got this. Sivri followed. Goal, secure data, prevent loss. Conflict, grid fail mid-revelation, bay doors jammed half, Miles pried with a hydrospanner. Core tap overload, reroute manual. Sparks showered, Sivri shielded samples in her pod case. Crew swarmed, Vorans panicking, Grulls hunkering. Proctor Vellum 9 yelled over comms. Evac, human tests triggered surge. Dr. Raman's voice cut. False, bioscans nominal, grid fault. Miles yanked conduits splicing live, power surged back, lights blazed, vaults hummed steady. Crew exhaled, eyes locked on him, sweat slick, grinning, whispers swelled, he tamed the surge, Horde heart, Sivri's slate pinged, embassy legends confirmed, humans, crisis breeders, stars quake. Vellum 9 arrived, frills limp. Calt your data, it's rewriting sims. Space Orcs know, deliberate terrors. Miles shrugged. Just fix the lights, who's hungry? Dr. Raman chuckled. Back to lab, viability curves. Sivri strapped auxiliaries tighter, probes linked, core thrummed steady now. Results flowed, post-stress gametes peaked higher. Human biology, not horror. Weapon of renewal, corridors buzzed louder. Crew nodded at Miles, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter. He carries the forge. Sivri compiled final packet. Overrides, rebounds, tools in drawer, will in veins, transmit. Queries roared, they rebuild from ash. Proctor's light blinked futile. Sivri knew. Humans tamed the unchecked with cranks, coffee, casual terror. Pod dimmed, Miles snored, Sivri's vents eased. Alliance forged in truth. Legends, collateral, lab waited, deeper still beckoned. What brewed in human normal? The stars leaned in. Sivri's slate erupted in pings. She clamped her auxiliary vents shut and scanned the student xenobiology chat. Messages flooded. Humans confirmed, permanent breeders. Space Orcs spawn hordes mid-crisis. A Voran classmate linked her own data packet. Post-surge gametes spiked 300%. They renew under fire. Sivri's frills quivered. Her species sync fertility to solstice cycles only. Humans, constant readiness. The chat spiraled, trapped them in pods, harvest sense for prediction models. She bolted upright in her dorm pod. Miles snored across the room, oblivious. Sivri tapped furiously. Source, cult here, data verified but context, no reply, notifications surged. Embassy alert, rumor vector, station-wide, contain or escalate. Sivri slung her pod case and dashed to the lab wing. Goal, quell the chat before Proctor Vellum 9 locked human access. Corridors hummed with whispers. Grull students clustered, sniffing air recyclers. A Kathari hissed past her. Smell that? Human markers everywhere. Fertility bait. Miles beat her to the shared lab bench. He hunched over his terminal, thumbs flying. Morning, Siv, coffee. He slid a steaming mug her way without looking up. Sivri's vents hissed steam. Your post, the chat. Saw it. He hit send. Public forum update beamed station-wide. Quick bio note, humans fertile year-round, yeah, peaks with stress adrenaline, evolution hack for survival. But consent first always, no sniffing without asking, prank that, get expelled. Emojis, thumbs up, locked door, Sivri froze, plain language, no hedges, her slate lit up. Chat imploded, he admitted it, Space Orcs breed on command, likes poured in, then panic replies, containment breach, Miles stretched. Fixed the power yesterday, now this, humans baffle 'em. He grabbed a probe kit. Lab time, viability curves due. Sivri nodded, frills tight. Rumors twisted her data, post-stress peaks weren't weapons, just human normal, but the chat branded Miles a crisis breeder. She trailed him to the analysis bay. Goals shifted, verify facts firsthand, de-escalate. A scuffle echoed from the sample vault. Sivri shoved through the crowd. Classmate Lura 4, a scent-obsessed Voran, crouched by the air vent. She waved a collector pad under Miles' discarded jacket. Human alpha markers predict spawn cycles. Hands off. Sivri yanked the pad away. Fabric rasped. Lura spun, quills flaring. Cult embassy pet, this proves it permanent fertility, one whiff models gold. Miles loomed behind Sivri, arms crossed. Told ya, consent. Lura snarled. Prank data, Sims crash without it. Sivri's core chilled. Her testimony could end this, or ignite scandal. Lura, seasonal sensors like us regulate, humans don't. Constant viable gametes, no off switch. She thrust her slate forward, graphs spiked. But sampling without clearance, Proctor's nightmare. Crowd murmured, Grulls shifted bulk, a Kathari filmed. Lura lunged for the jacket, Sivri blocked, podcase slamming down. Stop, or I report. Alarms whooped. Campus security swarmed, 2 hulking Grulls in hazard suits, scanners whirring. Proctor Vellum 9 slithered in behind, frills rigid. Containment, human biohazard prank, cult witness. Sivri's vents locked. Goal, testify true, prevent lockdown, humans stayed humble, she owed precision. Proctor, Lura sought pheromonal samples for fertility prediction. Unsanctioned. Vellum 9's lights pulsed red. Violation, scent harvesting equals assault under Accord 7, human consent crisis imminent. Miles waved casually. No harm, jacket's clean anyway. Security cuffed Lura's quills. She thrashed. It's science. They breed endlessly Space Orcs. Dr. Raman arrived, tablet glowing. Stand down, Sivri's data cleared this yesterday. Human fertility, adaptive trait, high viability post-stress, no contagion. She eyed Vellum 9. Paperwork or panic? Proctor's frills drooped. Policy demands quarantine review. Sivri stepped forward. I verify, intercepted chat first. Miles corrected publicly, consent emphasis. Lura escalated. Her voice steadied. Actions proved humans, practical, unfazed. Security hauled Lura out. Crowd dispersed under Raman's glare. Miles clapped Sivri's shoulder, gentle human warmth seeping through her pod suit. Thanks, partner, owe ya tacos. Vellum 9 hovered. Cult, your intercept saved diplomatic rupture, but rumors metastasize. Permanent breeders trends GalaxyNet. Sivri's slate pinged again. Embassy crisis contained. Human legends amplify, query verify mating thresholds. Dr. Raman pulled her aside. Good call testifying, blunt science cuts bullshit. She tapped charts. Next, cross-species viability, your cycles versus theirs. Miles grinned from the bench, splicing a new probe. Labs clear, let's curve those graphs. Sivri strapped in. Probes hummed, samples loaded, human baselines versus her regulated archive. Graphs bloomed. Human lines jagged high, resilient. Her own, precise seasonal arcs. Chat notifications trickled back. Cult shut it down. Humans consent enforcers, whispers shifted, not horror, guardians, but one ping chilled her. Anonymous, asterisk deeper test, induce stress. Confirmed spawn surge. Sivri's frills twitched. Cultural minefield deepened. Corridor cams caught a shadow, another collector pad glinting. Vellum 9's lights blinked frantic. Miles hummed oblivious wiring tools. Sivri compiled fresh packet. Transmit or intercept solo. Probes beeped. Human sample glowed, viable, always, her vents eased. Humans tamed, chaos casual. What if the next prank hit consent core? Station lights flickered once. Not fault. Test. Miles glanced up. Power solid, ready for round 2. Sivri nodded. Stars watched. Legends brewed hotter. Lab door hissed. Proctor returned, slate clutched. Emergency audit. Human dorm sense quarantine pending. Miles paused. Say what? Sivri gripped her case. Crisis reignited. Dr. Raman blocked the door. Over my scans. Vellum 9 quivered. Policy. Sivri cut in. Data first. She linked slates. Graphs flooded Proctor's feed. Human normal, steady fire, no trap, but the anonymous ping echoed. Deeper tests loomed. Miles shrugged. Tacos after. Crowd outside swelled again. Cameras rolled. One rumor birthed a consent storm overnight. Sivri's core raced. Verify or contain. Partners linked arms, human alien, probes word on. What threshold snapped the galaxy's fear? Sivri thrust her slate forward. Graph spiked across Proctor Vellum 9's display. Human hormone baselines, steady and relentless. See, Sivri's frills flared. No contagion, normal variance. Vellum 9's light stuttered. The Proctor's chassis hummed, scanning the data flood. Doctor. Raman stood firm at the lab door, arms crossed. Miles leaned against a workbench, tools idle in his grip. Quarantine lifted, Vellum 9 finally beeped. But dorm audits continue. Consent rumors escalate. Crowd murmurs seeped through the door vents. Cameras whirred outside. Sivri's vents tightened. Anonymous pings haunted her feed, deeper tests. Stress for spawn surge. Miles scratched his chin. Tacos sound better than audits. You in, Sivri? She nodded sharp. First facts, no more gossip. Her core pulsed. Invite him, supervised. Replace whispers with session logs. Miles. Sivri linked arms with him, human gesture now reflex. Join me, cultural exchange, Dr. Raman's office, today, he grinned. Lab partners stick together, lead on. Dr. Raman waved them through. Proctor, file the graphs. I'll log the rest. Vellum 9 retreated, chassis clicking. Sivri guided Miles down the corridor. Station lights steadied. Probes in her case beeped soft. Human sample secure, viable as ever. Dr. Raman's office door hissed open. Hollow screens flickered with xenobiology charts. The professor settled at her desk, gesturing seats. Lock it down, Raman said. Sivri, your report triggered 3 alerts. What's the real ask? Sivri perched on the edge of her chair. Her frills quivered. Miles sprawled casual beside her. Gossip twists facts, she said. Rumors claim humans. Spawn on demand. Stress triggered. I need verification. Supervised. Miles blinked. Spawn? You mean babies? Nah, that's not how it works. Raman steepled her fingers. Start simple, Miles. Privacy norms first. Humans value consent layers. He nodded quick. Right, no means no always. We talk boundaries up front. Dates, that's bonding, not baby making. We decoupled 'em ages ago. Pills, tech, choice. Sivri's vents cycled hot, decoupled. Her species synced bonding to season locks. Courtship laws mandated registry, pheromonal matches, fertility scans. One mismatch, exile fines. Explain, she pressed. Her stylist tapped the desk. Human dating, no seasons, Miles shrugged. Anytime, anywhere, hookups, fun, connection, no strings unless wanted. Half my friends date casual. No scans, no proctors, just talk. Sivri's core chilled. Translate that home, unregistered pairings, constant fertility windows. Her laws would label it criminal frenzy. Half of human dorms, lockdown offenses. Impossible, she whispered. Frills drooped. Your viability, always no suppression? Yep, Miles leaned forward. We're adaptable, ovaries churn monthly. Guys, constant swimmers, but we control it. Condoms, IUDs, the works. Bonding stays separate. Raman tapped her slate. Data matches. Human gametes viable baseline, no estrus lockout. Sivri's probes hummed in her case. She tested Miles' stress sample post-lab scare. Surge confirmed, normal for them, horror for her kin. Show me, she said, voice steady. Boundaries, consent demo. Miles paused. Raman raised a hand. Policy first, no demos. Words only, he chuckled. Fair, say we grab tacos, I ask, cool if I hold your hand? You say yes or no, done, escalates, check again. Apps track it sometimes, fun way. Sivri logged it frantic. Human norms, fluid, verbal, individual. Her species, seasonal edicts, clan vetted. Your laws, Miles said. Spill, what's the alien side? She hesitated, frills tucked. Coulter courtship, 3-season cycle, pheromone bloom triggers registry, scans confirm sync, mismatch, quarantine bond, off-season touch, fines. Exile for repeats. Miles whistled low. Whoa, so our coffee dates, criminal? Worse, Sivri's vents rasped. Unregulated fertility, your casual, mass violation. Raman's screen pinged, alert stacked. Station feed exploding, human consent guardians trending. Proctor's audit feeds it. Sivri gripped her case. Anonymous ping echoed, induce stress, confirm, cultural minefield cracked wider. Not horror, Miles said. Just us, practical, Raman stood. We fix rules, not biology, new addendum, cross-species consent. Her slate projected a draft. Bold text scrolled. HFY Exchange Protocol Addendum 47B, verbal consent mandatory for physical contact. Humans declare fertility status on request, opt-out logged. Aliens disclose seasonal triggers. Peer educators certify compliance. Sivri scanned, simple, scalable, no quarantines. Peer educators, Miles echoed. You too. Raman slid styluses over. Doormates, lab partners, cosign, demo it station-wide. Sivri's frills perked. Legends shifted, not Space Orcs spawning doom. Guardians of lines drawn clear. Miles signed first. Tacos after with boundaries chat. She signed second, core eased. Agreed, verbal first. Raman transmitted. Filed, Proctor notified, sessions mandatory for exchanges. Door chimed. Vellum 9 hovered outside, lights dim. Audit paused, addendum approved. Live, Raman said. Dismissed. Proctor vanished. Crowd chatter dropped outside. Cameras pivoted. Sivri rose. Miles matched her. Partners again, but her case beeped urgent. Probe alert. Dorm air sample spiked. Human baseline laced with synthetic, anonymous test. Round 2, Miles asked. Oblivious grin. Sivri nodded. Stars watched. Rules held for now. Deeper probes circled. What snapped the fragile piece? Sivri tapped her slate. The lecture hall doors hissed open. Rows of aliens leaned forward, frills twitching, eyes locked on her podium spot. She stepped up. Lights hummed brighter. Dr. Raman nodded from the front row. Sivri Colt, present your xenobiology case on human reproductive baselines. Sivri synced her slate. Hollow projected, human fertility, continuous cycle verification. Charts bloomed, hormone graphs flatlining across seasons, no peaks, no dips. Humans maintain gamete viability year-round, no seasonal lockout. Gasps rippled. A Krell student rival Tarak 4 shot up. Predatory. Endless spawning floods ecosystems. Your data fakes it. Sivri's frills flattened. She swiped. Medical scans overlaid. Miles anonymized bloodwork station verified. Station standard 12C, all exchange bioscans cross-checked. Human baseline confirmed, no fabrication. Tarak jabbed a claw. Consent policy, you imply they breed without signals. Addendum 47B, Sivri countered, voice steady. She pulled the fresh protocol. Bold text scrolled, verbal consent mandatory. Fertility status declared on request. Filed hours ago, peer certified. Humans opt-in only. Murmurs shifted. Tarek's vents flared, but he sank back. Raman raised a hand. Challenge dismissed, data stands. Sivri exhaled, core steadied. Next slide, fertility demo. She tapped Miles' icon. Live example, doormate heart. Miles bounded in from the side door, grinned wide. Hey, class, ready for the show not tell? He held up a wristband, thin, matte black. Stress tracker, my engineering fix for interspecies mix-ups. Strapped it on, hollow linked to her slate. Scans cortisol, adrenaline. Red's out if I'm stressed. Green means chill. Sivri nodded. Demonstrates readouts, prevents misreads, she pointed. Baseline green, no fertility spike under neutral conditions. Miles flexed, band pulse steady. See, humans don't auto-trigger, we think first. A Vexy student blinked stalks. You, wear this always? Station-wide rollout, Miles said. Clip it, sync it, alerts ping if vibes off, saved my last lab mishap. Tarek snorted. Toy proves nothing. Miles tossed a spare band. Test it, prod me, watch the shift. Tarek caught it, hesitated, clipped it on his own frill. Fine. He leaned close, vents huffing challenge pheromones. Miles' band yellowed. Whoa, buddy, back it up. He stepped away calm. Yellow, caution, consent check. Class buzzed. Sivri's slate chimed approval pings. Raman smiled faint. Practical, effective, Sivri integrate to your brief. Sivri updated live. Charts now included band telemetry. Continuous fertility exists, managed via tech and policy, not hazard. Applause trickled tentative, then full. Tarek ripped off the band. Stalks drooped, Sivri's frills perked. Legends cracked, lecture ended, Sivri packed her slate. Miles slapped her shoulder, light green band confirmed. Nailed it, tacos now? Later, she checked time. Proctor Vellum 9 awaits, official submit. They split. Sivri rode the lift to admin decks. Halls gleamed sterile, air recyclers humming human-scent neutralizers. Her case vibrated, dorm sample analysis complete. Synthetic hormone trace, contraceptive implant. Human standard. She filed it mentally. No panic trigger. Vellum 9's office loomed, door irised. Proctor floated mid-chamber, tendrils coiled tight over a hazard slate. Red alerts blinked, human bioclass, containment pending. Sivri cult. Vellum 9's lights pulsed dim. Your brief or station lockdown, Sivri uploaded. Full packet beamed, scans, addendum class demo logs, band schematics. Verified, humans continuous fertile but regulated, consent locked. Tendrils unspooled, Proctor scanned, silence stretched. Paper terrifies, year-round viability, population bombs. Practice proves, Sivri said. She pulled Miles' demo vid, band greens held firm. Wearables flag stress, policies enforce verbal yes, no incidents logged. Vellum 9's core word, slate shifted. Red faded to amber, hazard downgraded, manageable risk. Mandatory wearables for exchanges, approved. Proctor's lights brightened. Station protocols update, humans cleared for open dorms. Sivri's frills flared full. Peer sessions start tomorrow, confirmed. Vellum 9 waved her out. Monitor your doormate. Probes report spikes. Door sealed. Sivri floated back to lifts. Station announcements chimed overhead. Human exchange, green status. Addendum 47B active, halls relaxed. Aliens unclipped temp masks. A human jogged past, band green, waved casual. Sivri's case pinged again. Anonymous source, next test, proximity trial. Dorm cam feed requested. She stiffened. Deeper probes, who pushed. Back in dorm, Miles tinkered at his bench. Tools sparked. Proctor buy-in, downgraded. Sivri dropped her slate. Manageable, he whooped. Tossed her a taco wrapper empty. Knew it. Humans ain't orcs, just durable. Band on his wrist gleamed green, her synced matching, but her scan log glowed, proximity alert. Unknown sender, she glanced at the vent grate. Air hummed odd, sample spike source. Miles oblivious hummed a tune, Sivri edged closer. Miles, declare status, he blinked, grinned. Contracepted, chill, verbal consent. Test, she nodded. Green, peace held, but great shadows shifted. Cam lens winked, what watched next.